He left them like yesterday's news, vanishing with a suitcase and a smirk. 3 weeks later, his wedding invitation lands in my mailbox, glossy and cruel. I'm Margaret, 62, a retired school teacher who thought she'd raised a good man. My son, Daniel, was the golden boy, charming, driven, the kind who'd bring me flowers on Mother's Day and fix my leaky faucet without being asked. He met Sarah at 25, a shy nurse with a laugh that could light up a room. They married young, had 2 kids, Lila, 4, and Ben, barely 1, and I thought they were building something unbreakable. But Daniel's ambition was a slow poison. He climbed the corporate ladder, traded his old sedan for a sleek BMW, and started spending nights at the office. Sarah, juggling diapers and night shifts, didn't see the cracks forming. I did, but I told myself it was just the stress of young parenthood. Then came the bombshell. 3 months ago, Daniel called me at midnight, voice cold as steel. "Mom, I'm leaving Sarah. It's not working. No explanation, no remorse, just a demand to stay out of it." I begged him to think of the kids, but he hung up. The next day, Sarah called, sobbing. He'd packed a bag, kissed the kids goodbye, and walked out. Left her with a half-empty bank account and a note. "You'll be fine." I drove to their apartment, a small 2-bedroom in a fading part of town. Sarah was a wreck, her eyes red, Lila clinging to her leg, Ben wailing in his crib. "He said he needed space," she whispered, "but he's been seeing someone else." My heart sank. I'd raised Daniel to be loyal, to value family above all. Where had I gone wrong? I stayed with Sarah for days, cooking meals, rocking Ben to sleep, trying to glue their shattered world together. But Daniel was gone, chasing a new life. 3 weeks later, the invitation arrived. Glossy cardstock, gold embossed letters. "Daniel Carter and Vanessa Reed cordially invite you to their wedding." Vanessa. I'd never heard the name before. The date was a month away. The venue, a swanky vineyard I knew Daniel couldn't afford on his own. I sat at my kitchen table, staring at the card, my hands trembling. My son, engaged to another woman, while Sarah and my grandkids were barely scraping by. I wanted to tear it up, to scream, but instead, I called him. "Daniel, what is this?" I demanded when he picked up. His voice was breezy, like he was discussing the weather. "Oh, Mom, you got the invite. Vanessa's amazing. You'll love her." "Love her," I snapped. "You left your wife and kids. You think I'm coming to your wedding?" He sighed, impatient. "Sarah wasn't right for me. Vanessa is. She's got connections. Mom, she's helping me get ahead. You always said I should aim high." I hung up, my chest tight. Aim high, I'd meant integrity, not betrayal. I drove to Sarah's, the invitation burning a hole in my purse. When I showed it to her, she went still, like a deer caught in headlights. "He's moving on," she said, voice hollow, like we never existed. Lila overheard, her tiny face crumpling. "Is Daddy getting a new family?" she asked. I didn't know how to answer. The next weeks were a blur. Sarah worked double shifts to cover rent, while I took the kids to preschool and doctor's appointments. Daniel didn't call, didn't visit. I heard through a mutual friend he'd moved into Vanessa's downtown loft. All glass walls and city views. Vanessa was a marketing exec, 10 years older than Daniel, with a reputation for getting what she wanted. I pictured her polished, confident, everything Sarah wasn't. I hated her without knowing her, but I hated Daniel more. The wedding loomed closer, and I wrestled with what to do. Part of me wanted to show up, to confront Daniel in front of his fancy guests. Another part wanted to protect Sarah and the kids from more pain. I kept the invitation hidden, but Sarah found it one day while cleaning. "You're not going, are you?" she asked, her voice brittle. I shook my head. "No, but I need to see him, to understand." Against my better judgment, I drove to the vineyard the day before the wedding. It was a sprawling estate, dripping with wealth, white roses, crystal chandeliers, a string quartet rehearsing. Daniel was there, in a tailored suit, laughing with Vanessa. She was striking, her dark hair swept up, diamonds glinting at her throat. I watched from my car, feeling like an intruder in my own son's life. When he spotted me, his smile faltered. "Mom, what are you doing here?" he asked. Striding over, Vanessa followed, her eyes sharp, assessing. "I needed to see you," I said, my voice shaking. "To ask why. Why abandon your family? Why send me this?" I held up the invitation. He rolled his eyes. "Mom, don't be dramatic. Sarah and I were over long before I left. Vanessa's my future. She's helping me build something real." "Real," I snapped. "Your kids are real. Sarah's real. You don't get to erase them." Vanessa stepped forward, her voice smooth. "Mrs. Carter, I understand this is hard, but Daniel's happy now. Isn't that what matters?" I stared at her, my anger boiling. "Happy? At what cost? You're building your life on my grandkids' tears." Daniel cut in, his face hardening. "You don't get it. Mom, I'm not like you, stuck in some small-town life. I want more." His words hit like a slap. I'd given him everything: love, support, values, and he'd thrown it away for ambition. I turned and left, tears blurring my vision. Back home, I found Sarah packing boxes. "I'm moving," she said, "to my sisters in Ohio. The kids need a fresh start." I wanted to beg her to stay, but I saw the resolve in her eyes. She was done fighting for a man who didn't care. I helped her pack, each box a reminder of Daniel's betrayal. The kids clung to me, confused, asking when Daddy would visit. I lied, saying he was busy, hating myself for it. The wedding day came and went. I didn't attend. Instead, I spent it with Sarah and the kids, playing board games, trying to make them laugh. Social media buzzed with photos of Daniel and Vanessa cutting a cake, dancing under fairy lights. He looked happy, but I saw the emptiness in his eyes. I wondered if he'd ever regret it. Weeks later, Sarah and the kids left for Ohio. I stood in their empty apartment, the silence deafening. Daniel called once, asking why I hadn't come to the wedding. I told him the truth: I couldn't celebrate your happiness when it cost so much pain. He didn't call again. Months passed. I visited Sarah and the kids when I could, their new life slowly taking shape. Sarah got a better job. Lila started school. Ben took his first steps. They were healing, but the scars remained. I wrote Daniel a letter, pouring out my anger, my love, my hope that he'd see what he'd lost. I never sent it. One day, a package arrived from Daniel. No note, just a photo of him and Vanessa on a beach, smiling. I stared at it, wondering if he was taunting me or reaching out. I put it in a drawer, next to the unsent letter. Maybe one day he'd understand. Maybe not. This story isn't just about Daniel's betrayal or Sarah's resilience. It's about the choices we make and the people we hurt. It's about family, loyalty, and the cost of chasing a dream that leaves others behind. What do you think? Was Daniel justified in pursuing his happiness? Or did he cross a moral line? Should Margaret have confronted him harder? Or was her silence the stronger choice? Share your thoughts on justice, family, and forgiveness.